Happy College Day at Old Hilltop here. I am your host, Callie Francois. Right next to me in Purple Ravens is Keith Fusel, our morning line odds maker. Just some nice prices that we had yesterday, especially in the last, Keith.
How about the last? Like a 10-cent super? Some lucky fan. 26,000. Yeah, bombs away. Bomb, bomb, bomb. 10 to 1 for Milan Milosevic. Chalichna just galloped. I mean, you might want to watch that one right back. Just under a hand ride going away from that field in the nightcap, capping off a big triple, big exacta, you name it. Exacta, I think, was over 1,500. So hopefully you had that one. That one got away. Going back, that horse had a pretty good race on the go back that could have been used in exactas and such. But we're ready. College Day at the races, and I wish they had that when I was back at Towson State University. Yeah, that would have been good. But I always made my way to the track, so I made my own college day at the races.
You did. You made your own college scholarships. But let's kick on to a maiden special weight right off the bat.
Okay.
Short on the turf. You go with the number 8. Demanda for Guadalupe Preciado. Angel Castillo coming in out of town today for this try.
Guadalupe Preciado has a few runners in today. He's got one in a little bit later. Going to have to go against the likes of Wonder Where Craig is. Who's going to be a heavy favorite in there. But I look at this firster. She's going to have to be tied on. She's got a couple mile works, a couple 5/8 works. Looks to be working well. Preciado has done well, though, the last 3 years with the first-time starters, 4 for 16, 10 for 16 in the money with an RI of 376. And there is turf in this family. Topside Liam's map, okay, 10 or 11%. But it's a strong family here. Half to Sweet by. This horse is a graded stakes place, stakes winner on the turf. Jock coming along for the ride. I know he's got that one later, but maybe this is the one that's going to be well-met in here, Demanda. But it's a wide open opener, Callie. Really tough race to get through.
There are a couple of these races that are a bit wide open. We're going to see if we can find any bombs for you today. Like yesterday, Keith so mentioned Lady Mosler underneath to try and go for a little bit of maybe a speed play coming off of that Timonium run.
She's got the speed to keep her sharp. Is she going to be up on the lead? I'd like to see her just off of it. She does her best running from 2 or 3 lengths out of it, and she keys up against the right kind of horses. I think that Timonium race just kept her in form, in vein. Better Call Mama we saw come back to win that 42 in life with a big wide surge. Utterly courageous. She go a little bit further back. Didn't disgrace herself with a troubled trip yesterday. Don't worry about this horse kind of jump from the maiden claimings to the maiden special weight. She fits in here. She'll get that stalk and pounce kind of trip.
The numbers on the turf do fit a little bit. You have Determined Hope underneath as well. Determined Charm.
Yeah.
Is coming second off of the layoff, which Phil can gear up a little bit into that. A barn trend of 13% could be going better, but clearly just needed the race last time out.
Second off of the break is a good angle for Phil. First Lasix is not, but she ran incredible numbers at 2. I think turning back in distance with Barbosa, you go seek Barbosa these days because he's a hot commodity right now, right, for these trainers and owners. So there's your wake-up call. I think she'll make a run from off the pace.
And we both go with French Kissing right underneath. Let's go ahead to race 2, where this starts the early pick 4. And Keith, what kind of ticket do you have for us today?
Man, I'm just getting beaten with these tickets. They're killing me. We're trying, people. Trust me. We put a lot of work into these. So I've kind of trimmed it down. A little Sunday ticket, $15. If you want to add to this, go ahead. But I like that Dares Gold a lot for Kieran. We're going to single that one. We're going to know right off the bat whether we're alive or dead, right? So that Dares Gold to get you started 3 deep in race number 3 with the 3, 9, and 12. Amateur riders here this afternoon at Pimlico. So we got some amateur riders, some amateur bettors here. The college kids, get your vouchers and get playing.
Good way to connect it. I like that.
4th race with the 1 and 7. Dr. Ferber. It looks like first starter here for Joanne Shankel, who works along with Brady Sanchez Salaman. We'll go 2 deep in the 4th. Spreading in race 5. 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. I like Prince Pear in there a lot. Gallant George, I think, will be tough right back, cycling in the right directions. $15 add if you like.
It's an affordable ticket for some of our amateur bettors coming in today. It is College Day here at Pimlico, so we will have a slew of them coming in and some of them trying the racing for the first time. But Let's pay some attention to the horse you have on top, which is your best bet of the day. Dad Dares Gold for Kieran McGee. As you mentioned earlier, Carol Cedeno coming in from Delaware off of the rail.
Kieran goes calling Carol Cedeno. They team up at Pimlico, 40%. I mean, just a strong, strong number. I thought she wasn't disgraced just back here a few days ago, September the 9th. Caught 3 wide every step of the way, churned on willingly. There's plenty of speed to target in here. The other Kieran horse first off the claim, Chakota, I think will be able to keep horses like Sick Pack Sarah and stay out honest up front. The rail was good yesterday on this main track. I give a slight edge to horses inside yesterday. Hopefully it holds true today. That Dares Gold has the ability to stalk and move into it. She's my top pick.
Top pick. And you always want to put Sick Pack Sarah in the mix. I have her underneath as well. But race number 3 is a maiden claiming mile 16th on the turf for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Scratches with the 11 Swallow Beach, scratches with the 13 Midnight Tequila, 14 301, and 15 Magic Wizard, which leaves the Thinker coming in off of the AE list, and you have this horse underneath. But we both have a horse that we both have underneath is the number 9 and the number 2. I Can Do That and Looking for Justice in this amateur race.
Yeah, let's look at this video. We're going to go back to the last race for both of these, right, on the 21st of August at Laurel Park, and both of them run really well. Looking for Justice nearly pulled off the shocker at 43-1. Got back on the turf second time back-to-back and really ran big. Look at this, challenging for the lead. And I Can Do That, another one from the 9 post. Had to get position with the pace and really battled gamely through that final 16th of a mile, just giving way ever so grudgingly. These two, numbers-wise, they kind of stick out over the field. It's tough with the amateur riders. Are they going to be able to maintain the form? But I know one thing. The rider, Michael Woodson, on I Can Do That, put on a very good ride back at Laurel.
Everybody was after
on Saigon.
Yes.
And I'm going to just take that angle right back. Michael Woodson on top here from Michael Merriman. Who had a couple wins the other day.
Yeah, everybody was after him after that ride. I kind of went off of the riders a little bit in this race. So I go with Fiona Fox, who is the assistant for Michael Dickinson.
Okay.
So successful rider over fences in Ireland. So she's an Irish girl. Understands the job of getting that filly up in the front end of it and getting her nice and comfortable. I think she'll give her a pearl of a ride. So then we also have, of course, the number 12. Coming in, the Thinker off of the AE list. This one has been able to. The form really might help out the rider today, I think.
Yeah, settles well back. I think it's a lateral move from that maiden 10 at Colonial. Those numbers do stack up. Company lines stack up. Yeah, but doesn't have speed, so I'm not really worried about the post. This horse will be able to kind of draft in and then hopefully get a clean trip from the final 3/8 of a mile. That's what you need here. You don't want to have these riders trying to navigate through too much traffic. But this horse does bring a finish. So distance, not a problem for the 12. The Thinker, I'll throw in Arlo Bello. Quidditch, a first-time starter here for Riverdee Stable, and Todd Wyatt. The 3-year-old Lemon Drop Kid out of Street Cry mare. Might be any kind. Lone Sib to race.
I stayed away from that one. A first-time starter with amateur riders riding. I like the breeding on it and everything you're about to bring up, but that was the thing that went against me with that one. It's just the way the race is set up. And then of course we have Taylor Leatherman on Arlo Bella 4, Kevin Boniface, Taylor riding out from McLean Hendricks up at Fairhill. But race number 4 starts a middle pick 4. Tim Tulloch decided to give us a go with this middle pick 4, and here's how he gives it to us. He goes 4 wide in this nice claiming 5 event, which again, a lot of these races that he's decided to go on, you can go wide in that. Race number 5, have to go wide in that. I go wide in that as well. Race number 6, he singles in, and he has to single in somewhere with the amount of horses that he's put in, but he singles in on He Hate Me for Jamie Ness, Yana Ville in that interesting starter optional. And then in race 7, he goes 3 wide in that maiden claiming 20 with some security underneath that Brittany Russell horse for a nice $24 ticket. And Tim is going to be on the afternoon show with me and delve into that a little bit more. And so let's go ahead and take a look. Let's talk about this race number 4 really quick. This claiming 5, a mile and 16th on the dirt, which has never won 4. So again, interesting setup. You go with the number 7 on top. Dr. Ferber, Tim Tulloch has that horse on top as well.
Yeah, dropping from the open A category down to the condition. I like that. A big run 2 races back. Got the setup. They went quick up front and just looped and swooped. I just like this angle, the first runner for the trainer, right?
Yes,
You see this happen a lot, and they score. There's a little bit of speed in here. I think Mr. Mosley clearly is sharp right now for Caceres will go, but we'll keep company with Dashing Lou. I think Barbosa will keep that one honest up front. So let's see if Dr. Ferber can settle and make that one steady progression. He doesn't have a lot of speed. Going to need a little help up front, but this little drop down. And he gets the condition because he hasn't won 4. You see the condition last time, 2 races back. Still gets a condition race again today. That's key for Dr. Ferber and Taislai Pastina.
But then you also go with the number 1 underneath Big Rennie for Jonathan Maldonado. Jan trying to get a little bit of more footing here over at Old Hilltop, and we have a video.
Yeah, we have a video. Yeah. I was supposed to lead in all the videos, Callie. You're taking my thunder here. No. Big Rennie. Let's look at that race at Timonium. All in all, I thought it was pretty good. Maldonado's got this gelding kind of cycling in the right direction. He's improved. He gets in a little traffic. You see that between foes and comes up behind Dashing Lou is in this race. It's known as the barn, right? He just kind of lacks room. He's got to wait. And when you've just got that short stretch at Timonium, it's tough when you get stalled to pick it back up. Look at the horses up in front. Have all the momentum, but he keeps on trying. Only gets beat about 3 lengths when it's all said and done. Another one that's going to need a little help. He doesn't have a ton of speed, but he's got some willingness there in those recent finishes that give me a little bit of hope in race 4.
I like that. Race number 5. Excuse me for a sec. Claiming 25, never win 2, 5 on the turf, scratch with the 1. Leaser, scratch number 9, Uncle Remy. That draws in FOMO and Nova Castillo, the 12 and the 13. And Keith, you actually, excuse me for a second, we need to drop into that Rainbow Pick 6. So I set it up in a way where I go wide on a couple of these races, especially these turf races here, especially this maiden 25, or this never win 2 on the 25. Race number 6 was a little bit of a head scratcher for me in that starter optional. Race number 7 is a maiden 20, but we do have a Russell first time starter in there, including the Jerry Robney marker who showed some promise. Race number 7. Excuse me, that is where I put my single in. Race number 8 is a wide open competitive allowance for the girls. Race number 9 got a single. I need to do some fixing on that ticket because I have a single on the 2, Wonder Where Craig Is. You could not go wrong with Wonder Where Craig Is as a single. And in race number 10, in that claiming 10, it's all over a board a bit underneath between Keith, Tim, and I, but everybody goes in on the 4 and the 6. That's a 48 total dollar ticket that we have for today.
All right.
Race number 5 is this claiming 25, never win 2, short on the turf. And again, we talked about the scratches of the 1 and the 9. But Keith, you go in with the number 6 on top. Prince Pear, now with Suzanne Stitenius, was with Mike Merriman earlier, but this is the first start with Suzanne today.
Yeah, certainly capable trainer, and this one likes Pimlico. 4 starts, a win, 2 seconds, a third. If you're new here, you can kind of look at the stats within the program. Hopefully some of the college kids out here today will get a little help. We have somebody with some information to kind of help them in navigating their way through the track program or the racing form, whatever you like to use to try to handicap these races. But Prince Pear, I just think a little class relief, Victor some tough trips. There's no Taubers in here, Premier Choice, Kobe Tufts. Going in for the tag. This is attack mode right now for the owner. They want to win for Prince Pear. Has enough positional speed. Rallied in with a 76 over this turf course back on May the 20th. Preakness weekend behind really good horses. Just Wave and Smile, repeat winner. I think Prince Pear is the one to kind of strike from mid-pack. Hopefully we can get a little bit of a price because I think some money's going to come in on Mad Genius. I know off a long time, but took a lot of play in those first 2 tries. And don't leave out Gallant George. Suffered a heartbreaking defeat. I think that was 2 on the day. 10 to 1, almost 11 to 1 there on August the 7th. Went to the front, got urged to get to the front that day. There is some other speed to the outside. If Ruiz can hold position, leaving the 3/8 without any trouble, I think he'll bring another finish in here and hit the board at a price.
We do have a video on Gallant George, I believe. Correct?
I don't know. I think we took that. No, we do. Oh, there it is. Yes.
There it is. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
I might have whiffed on one. There you go.
That's
Thank
all right.
you.
That's all
but
right.
Gallant George this particular afternoon, this was tough. Gets the lead. Took some pressure. Shook back clear. And looks kind of like, okay, might give in here, but does not when Collard fights tooth and nail to the wire. Just gets beat ahead when it's all said and done. He's a runner that had a lot of trouble 2 races back, and that's kind of what tipped me off for that guy last time at the price. But I think they've got him figured out right now. Ruiz getting along with him. Sits Chili inside. I think he can hold Poe and get on the board in the 5th. Yep.
In the 5th,
All
so
right.
let's go ahead and carry on to the 6th. But before we do that, we are going to have a commercial break. We will be right back to sort out the rest of the card for you.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
And we're back here for the rest of the card on this Sunday college day of racing here at Old Hilltop. And this is a 6 furlong on the dirt event. Starter optional claiming 20,000. Scratch with the 4, the 5, and the 9. And that leaves us all, Tim, you, myself, and Tim on He Hate Me for Jamie Ness with Yana Ville coming off, getting this horse off of the claim and getting into a nice groove with He Hate Me.
Yeah, He Hate Me. Yeah, tries to make it 3 in a row, and I was hoping some of the speed would stay in. It does not. Free Dancer is out, who I really liked in there. Glory Song is gone as well, so scratch the 4, 5, and 9. I think He Hate Me is just in really good form, and Ness has gotten these horses, and he maintains form. The back class types of horses that have run big numbers in the past. This horse has gone back to a 97 buyer figure. I don't think he's going to reach that today. But again, riding the inside path with Aviles getting a little bit of a weight break, has enough to stay close, because I think Charge of Victory algebraic should make sure there's a pretty honest pace up front.
Correct.
Charge of Victory, you take those last 2 pen races, the confidence looks like it's back. Callie, he's run big races before in Maryland. He's going to be dangerous here up towards the front.
I like a little bit of a break because he was on a bit of a hard campaign, just a bit of a rough campaign. Give these horses some time. It doesn't matter whether they're at these allowance levels, these maiden special weight levels, any level. If a horse needs a break, and then he gets Carlos Mencia gets rewarded by that. So I think that we're going to see a little bit of that again today. And you also go with Nash Vegas. We both couldn't leave Nash Vegas off Anthony Ferrier. Needs to swing back, but I think coming back off of the bull rings may actually help this horse out a little bit. I think he's had it. I think you run these horses a couple times on the bull ring, and then they're either really bull ring horses or they're not bull ring horses. So I think getting this horse back off of a bull ring is the biggest thing for Nash Vegas.
Laying him back in for the 16. Wouldn't be surprised if he finds a new home this afternoon. You're right. I tossed the last. Any of these other races work. It's a tricky horse for me. I've watched him on the track. If he brings a B-plus effort, he'll rally into this. You know, the barn, I want to see a little bit more, but could be dangerous if that duel sets up. 1, 2, 3, 8 there in the 6.
He's going to be an interesting player in the way the race sets up in that race. Yes, absolutely. Race number 7, this maiden claiming 26 furlongs on the dirt. Keith, you land in on Ice Cube Baby for Charlie Frock, Walter Rodriguez on the rail, second time out.
Shorter field last time, right? In debut was bet down to 9-2. It's a lot of money for a Frock horse first out. Was coming in off of some good works over this racetrack. I was waiting for this notice when I called in today for the scratches. I said the blinkers got to be going on. They've got to be going on. Sure enough, it didn't make the first cut of the PPs, but it made it this afternoon. So pay attention. Blinkers on Ice Cube Baby. With that kind, he showed a little speed before drifting out and was packed it in. The jock packed it in the last 3/16 of a mile. They'll send. Knows this racetrack. Blinkers on. I hope he's sharp. If he gets to the front, he could be gone in here.
Could be gone.
She could be gone.
She could be gone, yes. One last Olas you have underneath for Claudio Gonzalez, Carlos Lopez, and I see what you're thinking there because I see Carlos injecting speed into this second-time starter filly.
Yeah, I went back and watched the race. It's visually much better than the running line when you look at it. She was down inside, shifted out late, very wide by the 16th pole, and really kept on willing. That race has come up pretty good. Some horses have come out of there. The 5th-place finisher came back to win and run a 55. Look at this. Maiden special weight to maiden claiming 41%. It's a smaller sample, but a big number for Claudio. I think if speed battle develops up front, this is the one that will fire on the drop.
fire on the drop. I go with Golden Blossom with
Yeah.
Brittany Russell. I mean, you have to. And then I was impressed with Nina Marker for Jerry Robb, Xavier Perez. That filly is a bit timid, so I think the 2 turns, first time going around 2 turns, I think that for that filly as an individual, that was a little bit of an ask. And first time out at Timonium, that's a busy environment to have your first time out in. So hoping some improvement for Nina Marker, but
She got a good education there.
Yes.
She rated. X-Men got her to relax just in behind horses. She handled that. The only thing she really didn't do was switch leads, but that you see that a lot was first, especially over there. They don't have time enough.
They're
not
time.
focused enough. Don't have the experience. But she kept on well. Miss Funny Pants has a couple races on the back that worked okay over at Laurel. So yeah, she's going to benefit. I think she's back in the right spot for 20. Golden Blossom, a little breeding note. Or a little stat here for Brittany, like you didn't need it. Past 2 years on the dirt, 5 for 15 with the 2-year-old maiden claimers, the first-time starter. So, yeah, that's, Claudio's got another dropper. But I'll take a shot. The late-breaking blinkers on, that's always a positive angle.
There we go. Let's get
Frocks to the winner's circle.
Frocks to the winner's circle here at Pimlico. I see that fitting. Race number 8 is this nice allowance on the turf. 1 mile and 16th this time for the girls. I think this is a pretty competitive race, and I'm surprised we're not a bit more differentiated in our choices, but you do land on the number 11. Jubilee Bridge for Mike Stidham. Toledo off of a European horse off of a big layoff. Was originally entered on September 11th at Pimlico, but was a scratch.
Yeah, he's 3 for 13, 7 for 13 the last few years with these shippers coming in. You've got Lasix going on. I went and did a little research on the horses that she ran against. They weren't the greatest, but, I mean, it was open company when she wins that race back in June of 21. This trainer certainly capable. I think this is a good field, maybe not a great field, a competitive field. So I'm just taking the strange here and here. The percentages kind of they work in our favor. Toledo will get her to settle. I think she's got maybe a little bit more positional speed than you might think, and be able to chance to kind of run them down. The one, My Candy Girl, we have a video. She looks like kind of the safe play. If you're going to play across the board against, again, for the college bettors, you can bet win, place, and show. If you bet show, if the horse finishes in the top 3, you get a little bit of coin back. She's not going to be a big price, but Kevin Gomez is really getting along with her well right now, and she's bringing a finish. I really like the 2-back try, and I like this one as well. She goes from the 6th post down inside today. Finishes up quite nicely through the final 16th of a mile, giving hard chase to the wire. That was a Hugh McMahon horse that blasted away, won by 10 in the race prior, Peace with Honor. You see that horse running third? That was Cupid Strike, right?
Yes.
In there? Cupid Strike had a little trouble. We might have missed that in the note, but had a little trouble out of the gate, then was taken the race. So I think you've got some versatility now from this 6 horse in race number 8 for Tony Ferrier. She may just bust right to the front.
She may. And then, of course, you have Dawn underneath the Arnaud Delacour horse with Danny Centeno. So with Jubilee Bridge, I actually had that filly on top originally, but then I just opted for Brittany's just because I wanted to. I was a bit more, again, safe bet. I went for the horse with a safe bet, a little bit more condition on the horse. But then this is one I had on and off of my top 4 selections, and especially keying in off of that maiden score at Tampa.
That was good, and I think the last race was even better. She doesn't have that big run. She's a steady progressor, but she's third off of a break. This is a Rod Dog special. Our man Dave Robin, he likes this one. I talked to him a little bit last night. Viburnum, Gravitron, key horses. They came back around 83, 85 respectively in their wins. Viburnum went down to Kentucky Downs and got a win as well, Callie. So
there we go.
The company lines are there, and even a last place finisher out of that race came back to win. I probably got this one lined a little too high at 6. Centano sitting around all day for this ride.
Yep, why not?
Could be dangerous.
It's dangerous indeed. And let's confer to another dangerous one that we have coming up in this next race. And this allowance optional claiming 55, 6 furlongs on the dirt, our feature race of the day. And let's kick on to your top selection. Final air token for Jose Corrales. Dennis Araujo back in the saddle. I think Dennis on this horse is a big deal.
Yeah, I think this one's going to seek out a trip from maybe 3 or 4 off of it. I think last time out going long, that wasn't the key, but that was just kind of get that stamina build up as well. This horse will be much sharper, I believe, today. 4 starts at Pimlico, 2 seconds, 2/3. Loves to sprint, 4 for 7 at the distance. If Wonder Where Craig is going to have a little bit of a hiccup maybe today, I think this is the guy that's sharp enough and can bring enough finish, because you're going to have some chasers in here. And Karen's Notion will be chasing in final shot that Air Token can drop inside, save ground, and bring that kick maybe to run it down. This horse has won without a setup as well in the past going short. So maybe the slight upsider here with Air Token over Wonder Where Craig is. Let's look at the video of the two. He's come back from Dubai. He hasn't gotten a win in 2 starts. Maybe is he not quite the same horse? We don't know. But I know one thing. He likes Pimlico. He's 2 for 2 here, handles some pressure, and just kicks away impressively, beating a good field in that optional allowance today. So this is the right kind of field. He's the fastest early. If he controls it, he's probably gone. I watched that race to Charlestown, first time up there, chasing some speed, some wicked speed. It can throw horses off their game as well, and he just kind of faded from there. But he's going to be difficult to beat from the front end.
Here's the deal with Wonder Where Craig is. I was there when that horse finished. Brittany was thrilled with him coming off of the layoff from Meydan in the De Francis dash, and then Charlestown. The horse again. This is either the horse. Horses are either bull ring horses or they aren't. Watching, and I agree with you with Wonder Where Craig is not a bull ring horse, not his track. So again, we come back to a track that he does know and love. So which is why I went. Of course, I went because he's the obvious class, but the setup. The projection of his setup is coming into alignment as well, which is why I put him on top.
I think he could win at a bull ring. I just think there's some really fast horses in that race that night, and you're chasing. You're in the one turn, you're in the second turn. It's like, man, this isn't what I'm used to.
Exactly.
And he'll be back today. They're going to have to catch him. Final shot I'll use underneath as well. 12-1 morning line might come down a little bit with the scratch of the 3 Torch of Truth, but major excuse. Now goes second off the break. A high percentage move for Preciado. He's faced the right kind. I think he can just save ground and churn on.
And let's turn on to our nightcap of the night. This claiming 10, which have never won 6 furlongs on the dirt, and we all land on Camila Rudd. And you have a stat for Tom McMahon.
Yes, I do. Here you go. Last 3 years on the dirt with these kind of droppers, so maybe don't be scared. He's 4 for 12, 33%, 7 for 12 in the money with a 50% tag drop. Look at that ROI, 965. Now that was really boosted by a 47-1 shot that he had hit back in 2020. But nonetheless, you've got Barbosa, a barn that doesn't run a lot of horses, but he was able to get Jaron Barbosa. Sensen probably the one to beat. Sensen's a little bit more tactical than her, but I think she's going to have to deal with a speed horse and Lost Anchor. Maybe that'll soften her just enough. Camellia Rowe from just off the pace.
Just off the pace. Sensen just sensible underneath. And then you go with the 2 and the 7, America's Woman, and Martha Rita for Ann Eubanks. Sorry, not Ann Eubanks. Yes, and Annette Eubanks and Angel Cruz with the blinkers on for Martha Rita this time.
Okay, there you go.
There we go. And let's kick on. Let's go ahead and wrap up. That's our wrap up here about our talks today. Let's go ahead and get into Keith's best bet and value play of the day, Keith.
Yeah, I hope I don't break some of these college guys coming out with their money. Hopefully, what I would do if you've got a couple friends with you throughout the races, maybe look at our picks, the top 4, box them in the exact. Exacta means the horses. 2 of those horses have to run 1, 2, 2, 1. So do that. It doesn't cost you a whole lot. $1 exacta box of 4 horses, $12. And I always seem to throw in some prices along the way. So if they can kind of jump in there, that'll boost your ticket. I go race 2, Dat Dares Gold. So an early pick here for our play of the day. Kieran McGee, this horse is maintaining form. I think she's got the right kind of setup in front of her. She'll score from just off the pace. And value play of the day. There it is, race 7, the Frocks on their home field advantage here for the Ravens. Ice Cube, baby, blinkers going on. I think you'll see a little straighter course for this filly than first time out. Let's hopefully she can jump to the front and lead the pack around there.
All right, you heard it. Keith's value play is a Frock here at Pimlico, but let's take a look. Let's hear from Dave Rodman for changes and scratches.
All right, good luck.